Hello and welcome to our podcast. My name is Sade. There are concerning things happening, or shall I say not happening, in the education space in Nigeria. And I'm not going to bore you going into them now. The issues are pressing, urgent, and potentially catastrophic. Education is my passion. My mother was an educator. I'm an educator. It's in the blood. I thought, why not do an education podcast? So in this edition of Banana Island Living, we're starting the first in our education podcast series, which hopefully will segue into a separate podcast called the Education Podcast. Yeah, with yours truly, sometimes with a co-host, sometimes alone. We'll discuss, ventilate, and talk about the latest happenings in the education space, share best practice, and generally make sure we've got our finger on the pulse of education in this country and elsewhere in the world. So please stay tuned, subscribe, share, and above all, give us a rating. It really does make a difference. Now, today, I have great pleasure in introducing Tope Egoh. I always try and give a little bit of backstory to my guests, and I'll just give just the bare bones of what she's done and what she's doing now. But first, Tope, can you just say hello?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Well, I'm so pleased. Tope is a founder and CEO of Holding Park Schools and HP Training Hub. She's an education specialist. She's actually a business entrepreneur as well. She went to Harvard Business School and studied business, launching new ventures. She has an MA in education and teaching from University College London, BSc Sociology from University of Lagos, and now trying to do a PhD. But do you know what's fascinating about Tope? And I'm just in awe of her boldness. She bought a business in the UK in a predominantly white area and made a success of it. So please, Tope, talk me through this. My mind was just blown. How did you do it? First of all, what made you think of doing that? And then talk me through how you actually managed to do it.
I'd say it was my passion for what I believed in. So yeah. I'm passionate about education for anyone that knows me, And then, I bought a school because I felt that, So I always had, my end game was coming back to Lagos, Nigeria, and setting up. And then I felt that the only way I could do that successfully was having a first-hand experience, in the UK of how to run a school. So there's a difference in being a teacher, or being a manager.
Exactly.
When it's a whole different ball game.
Oh, when the buck stops with you.
Exactly. When you're running a school as a business, and also you understand that it's about the value. So I like to say we're a social business.
Yeah.
We need to impact the community or the society. We need to give excellent quality education. At the same time, we also need to have enough money to keep the quality going.
It has to wash its face, as they say.
Yes. So we're a social business. And so my experience in the UK. So after, while I was doing my master's in UCL, well, my personal statement to get into UCL was that I just wanted to bridge a gap in education. Because if you look at it, the only way we can bridge economic gaps within Nigeria, within Africa, and even the rest of the world is through education. Whether or not we want to hear it, whether or not the government wants to hear it or not. Because I'm thinking forward-thinking government should be heavily vested in education.
Don't get me started.
Education is an investment
on that one. I mean,
oh my God! I know you said this should be conversational, but honestly, when I begin to talk about this, it just I'm not sure how kind or, I can be about
No,
this.
please feel free to vent, because it's good to have somebody, I try to vent on my own, but it really is helpful to have somebody venting, sharing the same views. And there's no point biting our tongue when things need to be said. So please feel free.
Okay. So I'll start with my experience in the UK. So, through professional education, professional experience, and also first-hand experience of how my children were being educated.
Yeah.
And how I saw the society, and I saw that, oh my God, these people are getting here because of the investments in education. I said, okay, I want to do something. So my personal thing was I wanted to support and, be a part of this thing in Nigeria, my home country. And my focus was in early years. And that's because early years is where the firm foundation for academic knowledge is laid. And even more importantly, that is when the outcomes, the future outcome. So it's not just about academic qualification. We're now talking about personal development, social interaction, and acceptance of others. And that's really important in our society. And take note, I said acceptance and not tolerance. So you have to bring up the children from a very young age that, we're all different people with different views and different ideology. However, we must make this work. And we can do this by cooperating with each other, interactions with each other, and all of that. And then when I bought the school, that's a whole different ballgame. The first week, so this is the white area, Tunbridge Wells.
So you were living in Tunbridge Wells then?
Oh no, I live in London.
So why did you pick Tunbridge Wells?
Okay, I picked Tunbridge Wells for two reasons. So I live at the end of Bromley, which is quite near Kent, and my children's school in Kent. So it was good for school runs, and secondly, it was affordable then anyway. So it was a school I bought. It had over 100 children at that point in time, and it was affordable. And also, Kent has an amazing educational system. And looking Latte, I think it's so because it's still quite white, and the white people watch out for themselves.
Yes.
So quality you're probably getting, or the government support you'll be getting in Kent, trust me, you wouldn't be getting it in Dagenham.
Who would believe that schools are that affordable to buy?
Well, if you do your research, honestly, if you do your research, you will get something. And that's the thing about the UK, diverting a bit here. If you want to own a business in the UK, if you sit down and do your research. And, okay, quick one. I kind of got that idea from Harvard. So we had this guy come in, and that was how, so he used to work he used to work at the GE, he was a director, and then he wanted to have his own business. And that was what he did. He bought a business because you have people that want to retire, they're tired of doing the same old thing, they want to do new things. So there are businesses available to buy. They just really want out. Yes.
But in Nigeria, it's almost impossible to buy a business, at least small scale, apart from the big ones. You have a sale of assets, but very few, or where do you even get the information to buy a business as a going concern? Or you're getting old, you want to sell your business, what do you do? Anyway, we'll get to succession planning later. But tell me, then what happened? You bought this business.
I bought this business, and then
you moved in. What did the Oyibos say?
Oh my God. When we were like negotiating, I used to go to the school. I used to come into the school like a parent wanting a space for her daughter or her child, And then on the D-Day, I remember the 16th of May, the lady came in, that's the owner, the previous owner came in and said, okay, she sold the business to me, And I was like, and before then, I had never experienced racism. Never, ever.
Yes.
So on the first day, they all said, how these people can really hold things to themselves, and I was thinking, okay, everything is okay.
They'll never say it to your face, though, will they?
Never to your face. But I was smart enough to have the lady sign in a contract that I will keep the staff for at least 6 weeks.
Right.
And then I also did a restrictive contract, meaning that even if any of them leave, they can't work like, I think about 10-mile radius, around the school as well, because I wasn't ready to put all that money down. And then, they go up, take the children and, and open their own school around the area. So we did that in the contract, And then I came in and, oh my God, it was terrible. There was backlash from parents.
Oh gosh.
And backlash from the staff. And a week into my resumption in the new school, all my staff, apart from the apprentice, resigned. All of them. Yes. And remember, I still had children. So we were now left with about 60 children. And know what that means, Shade? As a teacher or in school, we're out of, you can't be out of ratio, is it? The good thing was, because I had a master's, right? Yes. So my child to adult ratio increased. Then I had this apprentice girl that just did her level 3 so she could do something. And then I was literally using like agencies to get teachers. And you know how expensive that is. But that was how we survived that term, And I had one of the ladies come up to me and I said, why are you resigning? I'm thinking we could work together here. I'm not changing anything. If anything, I'm just going to improve the whole place because the previous owner was obviously tired, And one of them came up and said, one of them came up to my face and said, I could never work for you. And then it just hit me bang in the head.
Face.
To my face. She said, I could never work for you. And it just came alive and said, oh my God, this is racism.
Did you hit your Bible? Did you rush and get your Bible?
Oh, so you know what? So all of a sudden this this passage or this verse in the Bible came to me and he said, you know what? The earth is the Lord's and thereof. And so it's the Lord's. I can be where I want to be, where God has planted me, and I can still be successful, irrespective of all of this, But that was a really good thing for me, Shade, because I had to run the nursery myself. I didn't have a manager, so I was owner manager, doing all the administrative work, teaching at the same time, changing nappies. And remember, we still had these parents that were like, can she really do it?
Yeah, exactly. And her standards are going to be lower than ours, She's not.
And not because, we still had those parents. And then, the funniest thing happened. And then there was this, it's a predominantly white area.
Yeah.
There was this black lady and she was married to this white guy or Igbo guy. So, and I was thinking, there were literally no black people in the area then. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is sister. At least I have one person. Shade, she was the first person to withdraw her children for no reason, And I was really hurt, honestly. But there was nothing. You know how it is that these people just hate me for no apparent reason. It's not my fault. Do you understand? For something that I have absolutely no control over. They didn't even give me a chance. And, that's the glass ceiling we're talking about. And it was really...
that's why I was saying Tunbridge Wells. Because Tunbridge Wells has a terrible reputation. If you know the Daily Telegraph in England. Mm-hmm. So a cliche is you say... They'll write to the editor and say, disgusted of Tunbridge Wells. That's such a classic line. Mm-hmm. It's so Middle England. And they just have that mindset. It may be just a cliche, but that's the impression people get. And that's why I was saying you were bold.
So I think maybe if I thought it through, I probably wouldn't. However, I'm very glad I did because the council itself were really helpful. They kind of understood. But remember, it could also be that, it was a good thing for them. Oh, we have a black owner in our borough. In our area, we have a black head. Because you never see that, before. You never see that. You never see that.
They don't, even in Nigeria, they don't promote them. I went to one school when I was looking here a few years ago. And they're very proud. So I said, so who's the head teacher? I saw a picture and said, oh, no, we can never have a Nigerian head. I said, what?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of values are we giving our children? I can understand if in terms of experience, you get someone from the UK, like you say, but it could be a black head.
Exactly.
But I think the problem really is with us because, a lady I know who was at, I won't mention it, but it's one of those foreign curriculum schools.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Nigerian parent said, I'm not paying all this money for my child to be taught by a Nigerian. I was shocked. And
Yep.
these are not the usual suspects, that you think would do that. So we do get racism, but yeah, please go on. So how did you turn it around?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, please feel free.
I worked my ass off. I was there. Remember, we have the breakfast club, we have the school, the nursery, and we also had after school club. And then, So I was in school about 6 a.m. every day, finishing about 6:37. And I was giving the best quality education I could. Because the thing is, I had my training behind me to back me up. So I knew what it was. I'm not just a teacher. I'm an educator.
Exactly.
I understand how children learn. And that's the difference. It's one thing to go into a classroom and teach and deliver a curriculum, but it's a different thing to understand the biology, the sociology of how children learn. And so that I just put that to work. And then some parents left. But honestly, after like about a term, these parents are coming back. And then, of course, I now did some of my Nigerian moves. We got a school bus.
Yes.
We served hot meals. And we put that out. Yes, and that was the thing. Oh my God, they have a school bus. And they were like always driving around Tunbridge Wells every time we pick up, we drop up. I didn't even know people like that. Do you understand? I thought they liked doing school runs.
Yeah.
And that was it. And we did all the branding. So I had my staff always have their uniform on with their the jackets, the fluorescent ones with holding pack across it, went on Instagram. And that was really how we got ourselves. We got our customers back and even more. But then improving practice is a big thing. And one thing we do well in Holding Park UK is special needs.
Yes.
And
because that's becoming a big thing now. In the UK, in Nigeria, it's such a big thing now.
Yes. Okay, so and I'm glad we're coming to that. So in the UK, that's what we're known for: identifying, tracking, intervening when children have special needs, even on the spectrum. And in Kent, where we are, Tunbridge Wells, the council actually tells people, go to Holding Park. They're quite good at that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, they do that. But the thing is, people ask me, are you going to do the same thing in Nigeria? And I'm saying, I don't think so.
Why?
Because I don't have the support I need.
In Nigeria, you're your own.
I didn't know
you're
how
your
to.
own local government. You're
Exactly.
your own power supply. You're your own trainer. You're your own. You're doing everything on your own, and then you have to pay somebody else for the pleasure of doing it yourself.
And the thing is, I'm not even sure about the qualification or how well this person knows how to do it. And something apart from that, and I'm going to go back to where education is. Education, for it to be transformational, the government has to be vested in it heavily.
Has to believe in it,
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have to start with believing.
Believe, yes,
and I'm not sure they do. It's heartbreaking.
For instance, if I have a child that has special needs, I know this child is coming to Holding Park. I know this child's doctor. I know this child's specialist. I know the home situation of the child. And
you have to all of you have to do a care plan together. And,
exactly.
IEP and you.
We do it too. Exactly. We call them the external agencies.
Yeah.
So I need to work with all of these people. But you bring a child to me in Holding Park and I don't even have records. I don't even know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
That's Holding Park Lagos.
And the other thing is a lot of parents I find are not exactly honest with themselves as to the needs of the child. So until sometimes you get the child with you, you don't really know the range of needs.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are in denial, and it's a tough one.
And there's a problem with that. Okay, as I always say, every good school should have a specialist teacher. That's a Senko. Yeah. You should, because some parents come in and say, help. We know there's a problem.
Exactly. However, and we get assessed and everything, but some don't tell you. And even if you do like a day in school, it won't necessarily manifest.
Exactly. And some don't even know. So you need to have a Senko
and
on hand.
Children under the age of 4 are a little bit difficult to diagnose properly.
So all your teachers must have a good idea of Senko. So most of our teachers in Holding Park, Nigeria, even the UK, you have to have done at least a Senko level 1. So we all know what we're looking for, because you're able to like track and monitor and identify, so that if the child isn't hitting the right milestones, we now, oh my God, there's something happening here. We do a target plan. And then from a target plan, 6 weeks targeted plan with the parents, because it has to be full on.
Yeah,
so there has to be
as we say, we're all co-parenting.
Exactly. And that's what I said. So thank you for giving us the honor, partnering with you in the care of your education of your child, because really it's the parents. They're the first educators.
Yeah, and a lot of them also need support.
Exactly.
It's not just,
and that support they're not getting,
and I don't even know. Tell me something, Tope. What do you think was your greatest challenge?
For me?
And what is then and now in Nigeria? Abroad, what was your greatest challenge? And here, what is your greatest challenge?
My greatest challenge was the racism and the loneliness in the business.
Oh, yes. So
that's my greatest challenge.
I think that loneliness thing is huge. It's huge.
Oh, it is. Yes.
I can tell you that for free. So maybe we'll talk later. Yeah, and then here, what is your greatest problem in Nigeria now that you...
Here is a two-edged sword, as I like to call it. The overly regulated and under-regulated, both of them working together.
Yes.
It's like a two-edged sword for me. And I just don't get it. You have some parts that... The most unnecessary parts are heavily regulated, right?
And the things that need regulating...
Absolutely no. So so that's my problem. So you have things like the ministry or the education ministry coming to ask you, oh, where's your timetable? Oh, you can't open on this day. You have to open now. You have to observe the holidays. You have to do the register. Really insignificant things that do not affect the well-being of the child or the education of, And then where I'm thinking you should be at the forefront is making sure that the children are safeguarded in their education. From curriculum.
That doesn't seem to be an issue here. They don't seem to care. The regulators, I mean.
From curriculum planning to the environment to the qualification of teachers and the heads. That is where your focus should be on, and not irrelevant things like what days do we open. We're a private school. If we decide we can, go through the curriculum in 6 weeks, that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as your children are, and it's your business. Everyone wants their business to succeed, isn't it? So why would I set myself up for failure?
Do you know that one? I don't understand. What do you think? I really want to not do well? I mean, talk to me.
So I don't know. It's amazing. Honestly, a lot of...
So when we're saying government has to be interested, I think it also means employing people who really do understand education to be in those positions. And I'm not just talking about the commissioner or whatever. I'm talking of the actual people who work in the ministry, in the education department. Because I know somebody who set up a college of education and wanted to call it, is it Piaget or one of those, the ones with the pedagogy. If you're doing education, you must know Piaget. You must know,
Vygotsky,
all those. Vygotsky, all of that.
Of the theorists,
Yes, and the ministry said, what is Piaget? What? I better change the name. what is Piaget?
And you work in the ministry.
They really were determined that she shouldn't use that name, that it doesn't mean anything.
And how is that their business? Do you get? And that's what I'm talking about. Focusing on irrelevant things.
Exactly. Is that an issue? What I call
exactly. So
so it's exhausting.
Definitely,
it's really exhausting. But talk to me about something that I had a guest on my show. I don't think we've actually broadcast the episode yet, and she supports women and men as well, families, to plan estates. One thing that's been exercising my mind, and because my mother owns schools as well, and is how do you do succession planning? What happens if you get run over by a bus?
Okay.
What do you sell, or what's the end game? And there are lots of schools in Nigeria with this issue.
I think it's about structure.
Yes.
It's structure. If you put your structure in place, like I tell, not just the head, but even the teachers, the facility department, everybody has to put in. So we do something here, and we have what we call an instruction manual and your day-to-day procedure. So every department, including me, accounts department, we put everything we do from the time we step in.
So that if a supply teacher comes in or somebody comes in, they can just take it and run.
And the same thing with the head.
Yeah.
You have to trust. I think where we have difficulty is because we do not trust. So if I'm going to employ a head in Holding Park, I have to trust that she's not going to take my documents and hide and take them.
Yes.
That's a problem.
No, but sometimes, to be honest, there is reason not to trust.
I know there is reason not to trust. At the same time, in business school, I was told that if 4 of us are working in Holding Park and you poach all of us and put us in a different environment, you're not going to get the same result.
Exactly.
Never. So you have to be confident, and you have to in your ability.
You just have to look. What are the? You have to weigh the upside of
exactly,
and then the downside. What the downside is 1 or 2, but the upside is a lot more.
And interestingly, we do have a training platform, and it's called the HB Training Platform. And so before we launched it and all of that, we asked heads of schools, they will be using the platform.
What will they find useful?
And they all came back. I said, if we train them, they're going to leave. I said, really?
And they don't want to put the money in the training. So I don't understand that. I really don't.
And
it happens everywhere. Look, KPMG says people now with, the whole world is leaving Nigeria. I mean, will the last person please turn off the lights? But they'll come to them for 6 months to get KPMG on their CV and get the training. And then Japa, they're gone because they've trained them. They've got their name on the CV and then they're off. Does that mean they're not going to hire more people and do the same thing? I don't think so. Otherwise, they wouldn't have a business. So,
exactly. And and the thing with education is dynamic.
Yeah.
Every day you have people researching and working hard. Education is a science. People are researching. So every day you have new developments on how children learn better. So as an educationist, as a teacher, you have to be abreast of all of this. You have to know this. So it's not that qualification that teacher had 10 years ago. Do you get? No. And I know you can say, there is lots of free training online. However, these actually do not meet your needs because they just give you the free ones. When something is free, you can't get the best out of it, can you? And that's the issue we're having. So things are changing. How children learn is changing. From COVID till now, things are so different. And teaching,
it's a different world.
It's a different world. So how do you get all of these updates, How do you're not training? And, there's a limit to how many trainings I can go on as a head. And am I going to keep all that information to get,
Yes. So you have to have a life, for crying out loud.
Exactly. Even I'm only human, And so we have this training school, And I explained to them that, what? And that's why I said we have considered that, your teachers may leave, So what happens is you have access. It's online anyway. So you have access to the training for a whole year. So even if somebody leaves, the next person that comes in, can take it up from there and do it. And I said, and you know what? If all of us are training here, where would they leave to go?
Exactly. But then the other thing I've noticed is in the UK, and this is something that I just don't know how people can do otherwise. If somebody's coming to you, they need to have a reference from their previous employer. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's just safeguarding. And they just leave like that without worrying about a reference. In the UK, you'd never get another job.
Exactly.
Because everything has to be traceable. What happens? They just walk out and walk into straight somewhere else. You don't know if the person committed an atrocity there or there was child abuse. No problems.
As my people will say, they have packaged themselves.
Yes. How does that work?
I don't know how it works. How can you bring people in or someone in to care for children and educate them, and you don't even know their background? And this even happens to when you try to employ these foreign teachers as well, because you don't know.
Yeah.
So in the UK, for instance, we have what we call an enhanced
disclosure. Yeah.
Exactly. An enhanced disclosure. Do you get? And goes way back. So you have a good idea of who you, and this is renewable every year. And also as a school and as a school owner, you have to come and every year you ask your staff, has anything changed from the last time?
I mean, in Nigeria, they do a police report for what it's worth, but
has anything changed?
You pay a little fee and you get your police report. That's it. I'm not even sure they check the database.
Exactly.
But I hear Lagos State government is setting up a register now, a sex offenders register. It was announced last month, was it? They talked about it a few years ago, but it's actually now coming online.
Oh, that would be amazing if we can have that. Yes. So
that would be just brilliant. That would be just brilliant. But tell me, knowing now what you know, what would you have done differently coming to Nigeria to set up?
I would have budgeted better.
Sorry?
I would have budgeted better. I would have said, okay, we're not spending more than this because it's never ending.
Oh.
That is one thing. Money, finance, that is one thing. Everything is expensive. Building projects are expensive.
Oh, so not even just building. Is the planning and the payments to the government.
Everything.
And a lot of unbudgeted expenditure.
Yes, so budget is a big... So, Nigeria is what I'd like to call the low-hanging fruit. And you come here and as an educationist, you say, oh my God, I could have a school here because the government doesn't provide education. No. That doubles up or triples my market. Do you get? And then you come in here and everything is just expensive. And also purchasing power is quite low.
Yeah. Coca-Cola money, champagne taste.
Champagne money for Coca-Cola.
Yes.
So the parents want swimming pool, they want this, they want Oyibo teacher, they want
when is the return going to happen? I mean, it has to be affordable.
Exactly.
But at the same time, all these things you want, how is that going to be sustainable? The maintenance of the swimming pool alone.
Exactly. Maintenance, yes. And even the teachers and the quality and the training.
Oh God, it just sucks a lot out of you.
It's really expensive and there's absolutely no support. And instead, the parastatals or the government people are trying to even take advantage of you. And that's what, and you say, it's education. Please, you should be supporting me here. I'm working for for a better future for the children and for us as a nation and as a country, But then, you don't get any of that. They just, it's a deliberate attempt to frustrate you.
To let you, to frustrate you. And I don't know why. I try not to think that, but sometimes you get those vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's exhausting. So would you do it again?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because,
you'd come back and you'd do it.
I would just plan better, but I would definitely do it again. Definitely. Because when I call them my children and I see the parents and I can see where we are. We've just done this for about 6 months and I can see the difference. And also, I will do it over and over again because even though, I always tell my friends and we have this argument and they tell me that, that private individuals like myself and yourself can improve the standards of education in Nigeria.
Absolutely. You can do your bit. I mean,
we can do exactly that's it. We can do our bit, but it will never be transformational.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is. And what you need is transformational education
from government.
For us yes, that is what we need, because we need to bridge this inequality, social and economic inequality. Because
it's going to cost us dear. I mean, we can be smug in our own complacent little world, but if we don't do something transformational, we're all going to get bit in the bottom. I'm sorry.
Yes, because what happens when the social economic gap continues to widen? It leads to anarchy, and we can see that in our society. We have the bandits, we have Boko Haram, we have the cultists, because these children or young adults, they don't have a future.
Yeah.
They have nothing to look forward to.
And they've got nothing to lose, so why don't they do something criminal?
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got no name, no future, no background, no stake in the society, of course you might as well act out.
And so very soon we may not be able to sit pretty in banana and feel safe. That's what it's the reality of it.
In your smug, complacent little world.
Yeah, exactly. That is if we don't do something about educating and being serious about it. That's what's going to happen. And honestly, I don't know who's listening to this podcast, but I want to say now that education is not just about going to school. It's about welfare. The welfare of the mother when she's pregnant.
Well-being.
Yes. The society, housing, medical. They're all very important. And we're
going to change the world. You and I.
And I'm going to and there's a theory here to back it up.
Yeah.
Because if we go by the theory that when the baby's like 5 months in the mother's womb, they start to learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they? And if we say they're starting to learn, which means that mom needs to begin to have conversations. The environment has to be safe for mom.
Yeah.
Yes, and not toxic. Right? Mom needs to know how to read to the baby in the womb and to sing and to do all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell stories, because what you're doing essentially when you're doing that is you're beginning to teach that child language. Exactly. That's how it works. And language is one of the foundations for academic knowledge and excellence. So if we say from 5 months, a child is capable of beginning to learn all of those things. So what happens in Nigeria where mom is frustrated? The environment is so toxic. She goes to work. And remember, there's even the biological aspect that when mom is stressed out, the baby directly feels it in the womb. And what happens is it affects the formation of the brain. So we're talking about serious things here. And one of the side effects of this defect in the brain, also mental illness.
Oh, that's such a big thing. Let me tell you a little joke. I don't know if it's a joke, but it's rather sad. One lady was telling me that by the time she comes home from work, her body is shaking, real, just stressed. And then as she's coming in, the nanny is saying, Madam, what shall I make for the children? She said she doesn't even look back. She just, Indomie, just give them Indomie. And then she goes into her room and locks the door. Just lies down on the floor. Just give them Indomie, anything. Just leave me. So she needs at least 30 minutes of just brain dead time. Not thinking about what the children, she doesn't want to see the children. She doesn't care what they eat. For her to get her sanity back and her body to stop shaking. And then she'll go down, okay, what shall we eat? She doesn't have the bandwidth to plan ahead. Normally sometimes on Sundays they're in church all day, or Saturdays.
Yeah, that's another thing that takes a lot of time.
There's no family time. It's exhausting. Anyway, let's go on to happier things. What is on your bucket list? One thing you still want to do, because you've done so.
I want to travel around Africa. I haven't seen much of Africa, honestly.
I'm so glad you're saying that. And I don't know if it's COVID or anything, but I'm hearing this more. A lot of people are saying, yes, they're saying, why are we going to spend all our money in these places? I can't even take my nanny kind of thing. Then you queue for a visa. So a friend of mine has just come back from Kenya, where about a group of 30 went to do a birthday there, rather than going to England or Europe. It's, and somebody went to Tanzania and said, why are we doing this? Why did we go to all these funny places in the past with bad weather when we could easily go to Africa? They really loved it. So I'm so happy you're saying that.
Yes.
Maybe you and I will tag along and just do a tick
We
off.
have, yeah, definitely we have to do
African. Yes. Okay. So yes, Sunday morning church or chill?
Church.
Okay. Now, what sort of church do you go to? Are you Pentecostal? Are you COVE? Are you?
I'm Pentecostal. So in London, I go to a church called Citygate. In Nigeria, I'm still searching. So yeah.
Your forum shopping, as they call it.
Exactly.
You go from one to the other. Oh, I'm not feeling this, but
I'm not feeling this. Yeah. So yeah. So
you can do it online too, and just have your time with God.
Yeah. So that's this. So that's it for church. Yeah.
Okay. So, are you a morning person or a night owl? Because I think with what you've got on, you probably do everything. Morning, night.
I am a morning person. Well, I like partying, so yeah. So that would be. So if I need to get up for a party at night, definitely. But I am a morning person.
So, what time do you get up?
About 5 a.m.
No, I hate you already. It's like I'm just tired just hearing that. 5 a.m.
Even like 4:34, yes, that's fine. I sleep early, yes. So yeah, I'm a morning, definitely morning.
Impressed. I'm so impressed by that. Gosh. Okay. What are you reading at the moment?
Okay, so I'm reading this. Oh my God, it's hilarious. It's called Tall Tales, and it's written by Obi Echezona. Oh my God, you should. It's hilarious.
Tall
Very
Tales.
relatable. Tall Tales, as in tall. It's a collection of short stories.
Short stories. Okay. Located in Nigeria?
Oh, yes, it's by a Nigerian author. His name is Obi Echezona.
Is the setting for the stories usually around Nigeria?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Around Nigeria, so like different things, very relatable. It reminds me of so the first story that caught me was the one about the banking experience. He was talking about, the banking thing, and my career, I started as a banker, so that was very relatable, Yeah. So yeah, hilarious.
But wasn't he the guy, he won a prize not too long ago, Obi?
I think so. I did see something about it.
Yeah. I definitely will get on to that. Thank you.
Yeah. And then there's another one, and I can't remember the author now.
You're reading two at the same time.
Almost all men in Lagos are mad or something like that. That is interesting, honestly.
I saw that, and I saw excerpts of it, and it's so funny.
Yeah, hilarious.
I think somebody was telling me a part of it where you say, if you just greet a man and you greet him consistently, he's convinced that you're chasing him. Something like that.
Something like that. It was hilarious, honestly. That one, that's a good read. But yeah.
And you're just being polite and friendly. He's convinced that.
Because the men just feel that, these are misogyny. Yeah. The men just feel that, oh my God, I'm all of that. So yeah. And why not? The women make them feel like that. So yeah.
No. Okay. So who do you admire most?
Oh, honestly, this would have been a problem for me before last week. But last
week makes a difference? Okay. I must hear this.
Last week, I took a trip to the free trade zone, and definitely Dangote.
Wow.
Definitely.
His ambition.
Honestly, as in, I couldn't fathom how somebody could sit down, when you're in a government and think of all of that. And then,
scale, and to make it happen.
And he made it happen with all the many issues. So really, I applaud him. So yeah, right now, that's my person.
Oh, that's good. Because usually Obama, Mandela, but somebody down home who's doing something. He has his issues, don't we all? But
definitely.
He's creating employment. He could have taken his money and gone and, built some castle somewhere. So you're spot on there.
Vision, and the fact that you could have that vision, and really futuristic. So I do admire him. Yeah.
Good. So what are you listening to? What's on your Spotify or iPod or your current favorite song?
Okay, I have gospel music, most of them Americans, and then I listen to 70s, 80s, and 90s.
So who's your favorite 70s sort of favorite
70s. Artist? The Eagles, Hotel California.
Ah, Welcome to the Hotel California. What a nice surprise. What a nice surprise. Being your alibi. I know all the words to that. Oh, fantastic. What about Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young? Do you like that too?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, I recommend Judy Blue Eyes. You must listen to that. That is fantastic.
So, yeah. Okay, so like
gosh, a kindred spirit. Okay. Are you watching anything on Netflix or DSTV at the moment?
Oh, yeah. I'm a bit behind. I'm watching Suits right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Not Bridgerton, not Young, African and Famous or something like that.
Oh, no, because I had finished that. So you see, I also actually binge TV. That's the thing.
Those things are addictive. Don't start if you don't want to waste a whole night. It's killing. Can you describe yourself in 3 words?
Oh, I love God and very optimistic.
Yes, God-loving.
Yes, very optimistic. And then playful.
Optimistic and playful.
Yes.
That's interesting. I suppose you work with children, you must have that playfulness in you. Otherwise, you just can't get into it, can you?
If you're not playful as a teacher, then you really need to get another profession.
You're in the wrong business.
You're in the wrong business. You need to find something else to do. Yeah. So that's it.
You need to find your inner child.
Yeah. And I'm going to put a bit of education here. We all know that children play is a natural activity for children. Yeah. So parents and teachers, we really have to understand and embrace that because that's one thing that comes up in Holden Park. This British curriculum, they're always playing, and then you have to explain to them that that's the best way to teach children.
Do you know that there is a method to the madness, as they say? So tell me a joke. Tell me a joke. It doesn't have to be funny. It could be mildly amusing. It could be startling.
Oh, yeah. I just hope they're not going to stone me through the internet or for this joke I'm about to tell. I think it's one of the ones that my daughter. I have 2 actually. Yeah, just in case you can pick which one you like.
Okay, so tell me both, and I'll pick one. I'll pick one. I'll ascribe it to you. The second one I'll claim is mine.
Okay. So let me tell you this one. So, do you want to hear a construction joke?
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Sorry, still working on it.
Oh, gross. That's good. So let me hear the second one, and then I'll see which one I'm going to say was mine.
Okay. The next one is, how do you make holy water?
How do you make holy water?
Yep.
Ooh. Walking on water or something? No?
You boil the hell out of it.
Oh, God.
Now, those are really cheesy jokes, right?
No, but they're good. They're good cheesy jokes. I totally enjoy them. But you have been an amazing guest.
Thank you.
I'm planning to start an education podcast, just dealing with education because the problems are so huge. And, catching up on the news, sharing best practice. And I think you would be a fantastic person to do this. And let this be the first of many more.
Oh, thank you, Shadi.
Amazing. No. I love what you're doing. I'm impressed.
Thank you, Shadi. And thank you for this opportunity and also for what you're doing.
No. So if people want to get hold of you, if they're inspired by your story, how do they get hold of you?
Okay. So let me see. I think I have, we are on Instagram.
You're on LinkedIn?
Yeah, on LinkedIn as well as Tope Egoh. Yeah, my name is
at LinkedIn. Is that the best way to get hold of you?
I think so. And on Facebook as well. But I think LinkedIn, I'm always, LinkedIn, definitely.
LinkedIn is the best way to get hold of you.
Yeah, and then the school and about us, and we're on Instagram, and I think we're at Holden Park School. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, listeners, Tope is an amazing person. Please get in touch with her if you want to have a chat, find out what she does, if you're inspired, and then give us a 5-star rating and share with your friends. Thanks, Tope. You've been a star.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. Take care.